going on, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Phantom of the Megaplex. So as you can tell from the thumbnail and the title, I am joined in this video by Wan Kenobi, TravTries, and Worst Reviews. Three awesome guys. TravTries and Worst Reviews are actually two great friends, or best friends if I'm not mistaken, and so they're actually in this video together as far as their segment. So we'll hear from all three of them later on. Big thanks to them for being a part of this video of reviewing an old Disney Channel original movie that is very near and dear to my heart, a film that I've seen many, many times, but I had easily not seen it for over a decade, so it was nice to go back and revisit it thanks to Disney Plus. And yeah, let's talk about this movie. So this film follows a character named Pete, a high school student who is the youngest assistant manager at this big local movie theater that holds all kinds of big premieres, and it's just a very famous local theater. It holds a lot of rich history, and they kind of start the movie off by explaining the history of this theater and kind of just what a big deal it was for movie theaters and that time growing up and what it has kind of become. So Pete is the youngest assistant manager to ever work at this theater, and he takes his job very seriously. He has a lot of fun doing it. He has a lot of passion for movies, and he just loves being able to be this assistant manager of this movie theater. Right out of the gate, I could relate with this movie because I used to work at a movie theater. I was never an assistant manager. I had the opportunity at times, but my manager didn't really like me too much. But just the idea of working in a theater, I miss and I love that environment. If movie theaters paid more, I would love to work at a movie theater again. But yeah, it's just not a job that I could really keep with as far as the money goes, but it was a job that I love so much. I love being able to talk about movies with the guests as they came in, ask them what they were watching, maybe give them a recommendation if they were interested, and just be able to discuss the film. Maybe there was something that they were really excited for, that they were about to go watch and I've already seen it, and I can kind of just hype them up, leading them into watching the movie. And that experience, that setup for people coming in, getting their popcorn and going to sit down in the theater is something that I truly take very seriously when it comes to the movie-going experience. I don't think you need to know me too well to know that I love movies. I love the theater going experience, and this is a film that definitely celebrates that. It celebrates the movie going experience and the history behind a movie theater and movies in general. Just based on the premise and the title of this film, it's obviously referencing the Phantom of the Opera, obviously an incredibly classic story that's very popular. It's been told in musical form, in silent film form, in multiple film form, and it's just a story that we've all heard many, many times. We all know the story, and this film definitely plays off of that. So there's a big movie premiere coming to the theater. There's a lot of tension amongst the characters. They're all kind of having to set up for this big night that they're excited for, this big premiere where there's going to be a bunch of stars and all this stuff going on. And there's this legend of this phantom that goes across the megaplex, across the movie theater, and just wreaks all kinds of havoc. And on this night that this is happening, there is this person dressed in a cloak with a white mask who is going around being the Phantom of the Megaplex and just causing all sorts of chaos and madness across the entire theater. And that's essentially the basic premise. So you have this character of Pete, who's this youngest assistant manager, and he really has a lot of pressure on his back because his manager pretty much said that if anything goes wrong, he'll just blame him for it. His manager is essentially this kiss-ass guy who wants to get a promotion and is trying to kiss the ass of the owner of the theater so he can get the next promotion. And he kind of takes it really seriously. He's kind of an asshole. I've definitely worked under people like him. But that's the basic premise. You have this person going around as the Phantom of the Megaplex who's causing chaos across this theater on a really busy night right before a huge premiere is going to come through. The weight of this situation is on their shoulders, and Pete, the main character, has to try to find a way to stop the Phantom. This is definitely a Disney Channel original movie. It definitely feels like a Disney Channel original movie, and going back to watch it right out of the gate, I had a lot of nostalgia for it. It's a film that I saw very many times growing up as a kid. It's a film that played on Disney Channel often throughout the year, and specifically around the Halloween season. They would play this movie all the time. So genuinely, it came out in 2000. I had to have seen it every year after that for at least the next 6, 7 to 8 years, multiple times. It's definitely a movie that I remember watching many, many times, and it's a movie that definitely sits in my nostalgia box of my heart. Now, before I continue to talk about this movie, let's go ahead and hear what Wan Kenobi had to say about this movie.
Hey everybody, it's Wan Kenobi, and I'm back at you with a review, and I'm joining my buddy, Anthony A. Perez. I want to thank him for inviting me to do this review with him. We've been talking about doing a review together since December, and he wanted me to check out Phantom of the Megaplex. Honestly, man, I couldn't remember if I've ever seen this, and then after about 10 minutes into it, I totally remember watching this movie when I was a kid. I think it came out in 2000, and I enjoyed it when I was a kid, and I gotta tell you, I still enjoyed it. I love the setting of the movie. I love that it takes place in a movie theater because we're big movie buffs. That's why we have movie YouTube channels. I just love that whole aesthetic, and just the setting of the movie. I've always kind of, as a little kid, had a dream of like being like a big general manager of a movie theater, and I always thought it would be kind of cool to run a movie theater. And this movie does a really cool job of taking the Phantom of the Opera storyline and updating it into like current times, you know, modern times, at least back when the movie came out, and making it kid friendly, because, you know, there's a phantom running around the movie theater and messing things up, and it's just cool to see like how the movie theater, the other side of the movie theater, like people that are like working at it, and how things can go wrong, because we've all been in a movie when the movie stops playing and you get frustrated and it takes a bit for them to get going, and I just love how they show that kind of stuff in this movie. And our main character Pete, I really enjoyed in the beginning how he introduced like every like main character that works at the movie. I like how he took a minute to like they show their name on the screen and like AKA, and like kind of give a brief little description of like every character in the movie. I thought that was kind of a cool little way for them to introduce all of the characters in this movie. It was a fun movie. It's a Disney Channel movie, so it's a low budget movie, but it's pretty entertaining. I remember watching a lot of these kind of movies when I was younger on the Disney Channel, and I had a lot of fun rewatching this. I thought it was really cool how they tied in like the theme of what movies were going on were what was going, like the Phantom was causing certain problems in each movie, and it had to do with the movie that was in that theater, and the sister and brother, you know, of Pete, our main character. I just thought that was a cool idea and a little different spin on things, and it was a different spin on the Phantom of the Opera storyline, like I said. So I had fun watching this. It's cheesy at times. It's a Disney Channel movie. It's a fun, family-friendly movie. I could totally see me sitting down with my family, my son, and we'll checking this movie out with him when he's a little bit older, when he might be more into something like this. It's a mystery. There's a little bit of a love interest in there, you know, with our main character who's in high school, and, you know, he's got the hots for a girl, and there's a jock guy that's trying to get her to, you know. And I do kind of find it hard to believe, though, that a 17-year-old is the assistant manager at a huge 27-screen Megaplex movie theater, though. That's a little odd, I will say. But overall, man, I had a blast rewatching this movie, and I just want to say thanks again, man, for inviting me on over to your channel and doing this review with you, man. I appreciate it a lot, and I'll be catching you guys on the tube later. I have spoken.
Big thanks to Benny for being in this video. As usual, you can find the links to all the people that are in this video with me in the description box down below. He's a super cool guy. He does a lot of digital download giveaways. He has his own unique style of reviewing films and talking about things. He's a really laid back guy, and it's been really great to watch Benny's channel grow, so big thanks to him for being a part of this video. Go show him some love. So like I mentioned, this is definitely a movie that feels like a Disney Channel original movie. It is super, super cheesy. It's just one of those films that has so many unrealistic situations, but you kind of just have to like move past that and respect the fact that this is gonna be a cheese fest, that the acting is not gonna be top notch. This is a made-for-TV, low-budget Disney Channel film. If you can get past a lot of the cheesy acting and some of the unrealistic situations that are bound to happen in this kind of movie, I think this is a fun movie. It's not a great movie, and going back to rewatch it, it's definitely a little bit more boring in like the later half of the film than I remember, but the general idea is fun. I think it's a silly movie that has a lighthearted approach to it. It has a lot of really ridiculous stuff and some character development that is just completely lacking, but on an overall level, I do enjoy this movie for what it is. However, I can admittedly say that objectively, going back and watching it, it's not a great movie. A lot of the performances and a lot of the characters have no development. A lot of the performances are just not strong, and a lot of the moments that happen in this film, you just find yourself really not caring too much about. I think a lot of my attachment to what happens in this film and the characters is definitely something that's, feeding off more of my nostalgia and more of a bias. And objectively, I could say this is not a fantastic film. However, I think if you're a fan of Disney movies, if you're a fan of cheesy kinds of over-the-top films, anything like you see on like Hallmark and all that kind of stuff, I feel like there's some fun to be had here. I feel like if you have a kid and you want to show them a fun, just kind of silly, over-the-top movie, this is definitely a movie to show them. Now, before I get into some things I really love about this movie and some more negatives about this movie, let's go ahead and hear what Worst Reviews and TravTries have to say about this.
What's up, guys? This is Trav with my buddy Ryan, guesting for the first time on Anthony's channel. We're excited today to, well, excited but not excited. What's this movie? So Anthony asked me to watch Phantom of the Megaplex on Disney Plus. It is available there. It's a Disney Plus, or not Disney Plus, Disney Channel original film from, what year was it you said? Like 2000?
2000.
And yeah, I don't know, man.
Sadly, when it comes to stuff like this, I personally am a letdown to 90s kids.
He grew up with live-action serious movies.
Well, not only that, I mean, like, I can give this leeway for being the quality it is. I mean, it knows that it's not up to par.
Yeah.
Like, it knows, like, that it's kind of lower budget, lower quality, like, but being a Disney Channel original movie, I did not necessarily really grow up with this kind of stuff. Like, I didn't really grow up with TV and watch a whole lot of TV movies, because otherwise I'd probably be more accustomed to the feel and the vibe of this, which is it just felt, everything about this movie just felt off. Like, I mean, that's putting it lightly. Like,
and now we are giving it a pass.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not a terrible movie. It's not like a terrible movie whatsoever. But
it's not great.
I didn't finish it. I had trouble finishing it. And then I got the idea, and I asked Anthony, said it was okay to invite Ryan to do this with me, because me and Ryan like watching like bad cheesy movies. It's fun. And after me and Anthony reviewed Heavyweights, I did show Ryan Heavyweights, because like, you gotta see this movie. It's so good. If you haven't checked out our Heavyweights review, check it out. Like Ryan said whenever this movie went off, like, you could be putting on Heavyweights. Like, you could be clicking on Heavyweights right now and spending a little bit more time with these amazing kids than the kids and the adults in this movie. Because one big problem I had with this movie was the adults are garbage. They're literally, it's like they're reading a teleprompter, just feeding their lines. There's a scene where like the two parents, like the new stepdad and the mom, basically just have this moment that's basically a metaphor for, hey, should we take this relationship a step further? And it's just so jarring, and in the middle of, like, it doesn't fit. It didn't fit, in my opinion. Like, the lines were, it could fit easier if the lines and everything that they're talking about just were delivered better, but they weren't. With the kids, one of the kids is in Small Soldiers. I don't know his name off the top of my head. He's great because he plays like the age he is, literally. All the sister and the little brother are literally, like, to me, the best characters in the movie, because when I watch them, I'm like, okay, this is literally what it would be like to be a kid and be in the theater, and like this phantom thing is taking place or whatever, and you're scared, but also it's got that Disney cheese of like, okay, we're detectives in this, basically. And the other best character to me was Movie Mason. What's his name in real life?
Mickey Rooney.
Yeah, Mickey Rooney.
I love Mickey Rooney. One of my favorite movies is Mad Mad World, and of course he's a character in that. He's in a whole lot of stuff that I've seen, but in this, I really liked him. It kind of went in a twist and turn of what he was going to be, and it kind of made him a little...
Yeah, because it kind of tried to point to him being the Phantom. But
it made it a little more interesting than just like, okay, this old guy character, okay. Like, it's a good movie in just...
I like the whole
very
thing.
Small ways.
I like the whole thing that he's trying to work there, but he doesn't work there. That's a nice little touch of like, he's dedicated
and
to
I know a guy
and,
like that in real life. Like, I know a guy that's like, okay, I'm gonna hang around this place. I don't know. The kids and him And then that's kind of where it ends with me.
So my final thoughts on this being that I don't know if Anthony grew up with this or not. I'm going to literally find out in the review itself. But if he did, and if he likes this movie, I can understand why, like, you're a kid, you would be a kid and watch this. And even if you're a kid now, I would, I might, if I had a kid, I might throw this on just to see what they would think about it. It's one of those movies that's like, there's scenes like the fan in the movie theater, and then the storm is actually happening on screen, and then they shut off the fan, and then it goes to clear. Like, that's stuff that's gonna stick with a kid. Like, there's scenes that are horrific enough where it's like you might just have fun with your son or daughter. Like, let's see how much we can freak them out with this.
This is definitely without
kids movie.
Like, for a little kid, like, but it's good in that
Whereas
way.
Heavyweights, I felt like it just to compare, it's like you can watch this as an adult and take it in as an adult, like through those kind of goggles, I guess.
But as a just good movie on its own, I don't think it holds up at all. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I love
It teeter-totters.
I love cheese, and we both love just little cheesy movies like that, but this is a little bit much.
So with that, that's our quick review on Phantom. Almost, I was about to say Heavyweights, Phantom of the Megaplex. Check it out if you haven't yet. I guess if you want, if you like that cheese, you like those Disney Channel kind of vibes, I guess. Like, then you might enjoy this. Put this on for you, especially if you have little ones. They'll probably enjoy it. So yeah, I guess that's it. We'll leave it up to Anthony now to finish this review. Trav out, Ryan out, peace out.
Again, a big thanks to everybody who's been in this video. It's really great to have the three of these guys in this video to go ahead and share their thoughts on the movie. Yeah, it's not a film that's mind-blowing. It's been great to hear their different opinions and what they liked and what they didn't like. And yeah, one thing that these guys just mentioned was Mickey Rooney is definitely probably my favorite part of this movie as well. He plays this character named Movie Mason, and he's just, I almost feel like him. He's this dude who has so much love for the history and art behind movies and what it all means to sit down and watch a film. Now, he's a little over the top and a little annoying sometimes as far as giving his opinion, but on an overall, he's this character that really just comes to work at this movie theater even though he's not an employee there, just because he loves the movie going experience so much. He wants to make it a magical experience, and he just feels the magic of being able to sit in a movie theater and be a part of that world. And I know what that's like. I miss working in a movie theater a lot because it was just something that I really felt like I could relate to. Sure, I was doing work. Sure, I was doing things that could be a little annoying. Sure, some days I didn't want to be there. But I usually had a lot of fun. If it wasn't a crazy busy night where I was busting my ass the whole night, I had a lot of fun just being able to sit there and talk to people about movies, excite them about a movie that they maybe never had heard about, and I'm telling them, hey, yeah, there's this movie in theaters, here's the basic premise, I really thought it was good, yada, 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 share my thoughts, and a lot of times, those people would go, oh, sure, I'll go check it out. Maybe they'd buy into what I was saying, and then they'd go watch the movie, and they'd come out, and they'd be pretty happy with what they saw. There was plenty of times that somebody was going to watch the movie and ask me my thoughts on it, and I tell them my honest opinion of maybe I didn't like it so much, and then they'd come out and we'd have a discussion about it. Maybe they agreed, maybe they didn't agree, and I really love that about the movie-going experience, and being able to work in a movie theater was just definitely something that was a treat to me, so I felt like I really related with the character of Movie Mason.
There's always magic at the movies. To destroy that magic, to shatter those moments, to me is a sin so grave as to be almost incomprehensible.
So I really do like Mickey Rooney in this movie, but yeah, on an overall level, guys, this is not a mind-blowing film. This is just kind of a silly Disney Channel throwback that I wanted to go ahead and review on this channel, and I'm really happy that these three guys were willing to be forced to watch this movie. I had a good time with it, going back and revisiting it, but it was a little slow near the middle and end. There is development that lacks, and it's just a cheesy Disney Channel movie that I think celebrates movies, celebrates the Phantom of the Opera, and just does it in a fun and silly way. I feel like this is a harmless watch if you guys are interested in checking it out, but by no means do I think this is a must-watch as far as movies go. So yeah, guys, that's going to be our thoughts on the Phantom of the Megaplex. Definitely leave your comments down below. Did you grow up watching this movie as well? Did your kids maybe show this movie to you? Definitely leave all your thoughts down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already done so, because there is so much more content coming, guys. There's so much more. So definitely hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see each and every single one of you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.